I'm Sourena V.
And I'm Chris Stevenson.
Welcome to our channel. On this channel, we talk about mindset and achieving goals. Mindset is the only way I could compete as a disabled person in an able-bodied world. As a disabled person, my life is not easy.
His life is not easy.
It's an excuse to work harder. Chris is going to tell you a lot more. Like and subscribe.
I'm Chris Stevenson, and I get to bring the insights of Sourena to life. And he's here to prove that your circumstances do not define your potential. Sourena was born with severe cerebral palsy. He uses a wheelchair. He's got a severe speech impediment. But he successfully competes in an able-bodied world. Sourena's been featured on ESPN, BBC Capital, NBC, and other major media outlets. But most importantly, he's built a life that most people only dream about. Through subtitles and our collaboration, we're bringing life-changing strategies directly to you. As for me, I'm Chris Stevenson. I'm a consultant, I'm a keynote speaker, I'm an author, and I have the opportunity to partner with Sourena again to help bring his message to life. So here's the truth, the honest truth. There is a life out there that's waiting for you, but it's never gonna just fall in your lap. It won't happen by accident. You have to turn your dreams into a reality. And on this channel, Sourena's channel, we'll share simple and sometimes advanced strategies to help you live a better life. Because one of the things we've learned is that when we overlook the simple things, we just end up chasing the complex and we don't always get where we want to go. So we're going to talk about things like positive self-talk, embracing reality instead of fighting it, changing your approach to your life, then your life can actually change, building win-win relationships through service, collaboration, and just genuinely being a great human being. We'll talk about working through challenges instead of avoiding them. Crystal clear about what you want and how you're going to get there. We'll talk about making things happen. Now, a lot of these ideas sound simple, right? But here's where it gets real. We often, and I'm sure you've been there, I know I've been there, Sourena's been there, get in our own way. We overthink, we doubt ourselves, and we have negative self-talk, right? And that starts to slow things down, and that takes over. And we can't let that happen. And that's where mindset comes in. And no, mindset is not just a buzzword or something that feels trendy or fun to say or a hashtag. Mindset's a real thing. And mindset is the way that you pursue everything in life. It's the lens that you look at your goals, the way you handle challenges, the way you interact with others, the way you move throughout your entire day, every decision you make. That's what mindset really is. It's not everything, but it definitely touches everything that matters. So we're here to be your personal guides, to offer you practical tools and deeper insights to help you live the life that you truly want and that you truly can. A little backstory on Sourena. It would have been very easy for Sourena to accept his limitations and not really pursue anything amazing, right? But he's a dreamer. And by the way, had he just lived an ordinary life and lived in the world of his limitations, no one would have hated him. They wouldn't have been mad. They probably would have been compassionate and nice. But that's not enough for Sourena. Again, he is a dreamer, and he refused to let his disability define what would be possible. He wanted the full human experience, getting married, building a career, having kids, and taking some of those ridiculous guys' trips to Vegas, many of which I've been on with Sourena. But that's for a different video. So how did he do it? Well, by studying personal development and achievement, and by applying those lessons he learned to the unique challenges of his own life. So now through books, keynotes, coaching programs, and this channel, he's sharing some of those same lessons to help you build a life that you absolutely love. Sourena is a big believer, and rightfully so, in mindset. And Sourena developed 5 keys to an amazing mindset. So what is that, you might be asking? Well, it's a framework for creating the life that you want by strengthening the foundation of how you think, how you act, and how you grow. Mindset isn't just thinking positive or writing down daily affirmations. It's how you approach your goals, how you handle setbacks, how you interact with others, and how you show up in the world every single day at every single moment. Bottom line is, if you want a better life, you don't just need better circumstances. And by the way, those rarely happen. You need a better approach to life. You need to strengthen and improve your mindset. There are principles to having a strong mindset. Right? A positive mindset means taking actions that many people avoid, right? Doing the things that others won't. It's the difference between wanting success and doing what it takes to be successful, right? Dreams drive action. And when your aspirations guide your choices instead of your fears or circumstances, you create unstoppable momentum, right? Choose growth over comfort. Easier said than done, but that's one thing Sourena will help you do, because real progress happens when you make choices that align with your vision, even when they're uncomfortable. You gotta be willing to be uncomfortable sometimes if you truly wanna grow. Here's a little bit more about Sourena's 5 keys. The first one, rewrite your narrative. We all tell our stories about what's possible and what's not. And those stories shape how we go after our goals, deal with challenges, and how we see the overall world in general, right? So that principle 1, rewrite your narrative, meaning rewrite your story. Your narrative shapes your reality. The story you tell yourself can fuel your progress or keep you in place, or even worse, hold you back. So you have to identify limiting beliefs and ask yourself, what story am I clinging to that keeps me stuck? Adopt empowering narratives, right? Craft stories that help you grow, achieve, and move forward. Second, improve your habits. Sourena will always tell you that your habits determine your success, right? Because we are what we repeatedly do. Our processes, our habits, they directly determine our results. So if you want better outcomes, more wealth, better relationships, better health, you've got to improve your systems. Those are your habits, right? So you've got to master your processes and habits. So what you want to do is direct your assets strategically, right? How are you going to use your money, your time, your energy, and your attention so that it moves you forward, right? It's what you want to focus on, and then eliminate what doesn't, right? Design your processes intentionally. They should never just happen. They cannot be an accident if you truly want to be successful. You've got to design them intentionally. Because success, again, is never an accident. It is engineered through consistent execution, right? So recognize that interconnected life, right? Your health fuels your relationships impact your career. Everything compounds together, and that's why habits are so crucial. The third is dealing with challenges. Obstacles are part of your journey. Let me say that one more time. Obstacles are part of your journey. They will always be there. Some will always be there. New ones will arise. Some will shift and change a little bit, but there's always going to be things that get in the way of you moving forward, right? True success, it's not from eliminating them. It's from learning to work through them. Each time you do that, each time you work through a challenge, work through an obstacle, you grow stronger and you become more capable, right? So you want to embrace challenge as growth catalysts, right? That's that growth mindset. Because again, challenges are inevitable, but resilience, well, that's a choice, right? Your response defines your outcome. So start with manageable friction, build capacity by facing small challenges before you take on bigger ones. You're going to build up to it. You don't just jump to the biggest challenge or obstacle that you have. Take manageable ones, get better, get more resilient, learn more, and then hop into the big ones. Because adversity builds strength. The fourth, interact with people. No one wins alone. No matter how many glorified stories you see or hear in the media about the self-made person, right? They do it all by themselves, no help, dealing with all sorts of challenges. That's never really the case. Sourena will always tell you that. You need other people. And the quality of those relationships determine ultimately the quality of your life, because success is built on connection, collaboration, and contributions. Always think of those 3 C's of success. Success comes through service, right? We're all trying to succeed and we have things we need to do, but if you can create value for others, you're going to benefit exponentially, right? Long-term success comes from serving others, not just seeking. Again, Sourena is very big on the importance of creating win-win relationships. So build strategic partnerships. Find those win-win collaborations because those are going to multiply success. Lean on others. We often wear it as a badge of honors that we're not going to ask for support or help for anything, right? Well, that's what people who aren't as successful do. Real successful people, they lean on others. They seek mentors, coaches, and peers who help you reach your goals. Think about some of the most successful athletes in the world in any sport or the Olympics, right? They're the best at what they do. And you know what they all have? Mentors, coaches, and peers who support their journey. Don't try to do it alone. Always interact with people. And 5, last but not least, gain clarity. Clarity is power, right? It means knowing what you want, understanding what stands in your way, why you want it, and recognizing who can help get you there. That's what clarity means. And oftentimes we set goals that just don't have that clarity. And we wonder why it's so hard to get to them, because it's just not there. But again, the more visual and visceral that you can make something with a high level of clarity, you dramatically increase your ability to succeed, right? Because once you know that, it's all about aligning your actions and values with that vision, right? That crystal clear vision. So you need to gain a crystal clear vision, right? So define your destination. Where specifically, clearly do you want to go? You can't navigate if you don't know where you're headed, right? Know your why, because purpose drives persistence, right? So ultimately, clarity creates confidence. When you know exactly what matters, decision-making becomes easier and execution becomes more focused. And that's the importance of gaining clarity. Those are Sorena's 5 keys to an amazing mindset. Now, here's the thing. They don't work in isolation. It takes all 5. When they come together, you amplify everything. Back to Sourena and the amazing things he's accomplished. That's what it took. These are the things Sourena personally worked on to learn how to deal with his challenges and become that award-winning author, right? Become that motivational speaker, that coach, that consultant, putting out great material just like this. That all came because of those 5 things compounding and helping Sourena create the mindset he needed to achieve amazing things, right? So you can't pick one of these, ignore the rest. That's never going to work. While each offers small improvements, if you want to maximize it, if you want to maximize your potential, you need all of those. And here's a reality check. It's not easy, right? It doesn't just happen. But it is possible, right? With some hard work and some dedication and commitment, you can absolutely master these 5 things and accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. And always think about this. What's the alternative? Staying stuck, right? And that is far harder and more painful in the long run than a little bit of the pain and challenge that comes with going through the process of creating an amazing mindset. So remember this, mindset touches everything that is important in your life, right? These 5 keys, rewriting your narrative, improving your habits, dealing with challenges, interacting with people, and gaining clarity are your roadmap for you to live the life that you really want to live and that you're meant to live. If you want to go deeper, you can grab Sorena's 5 Keys to an Amazing Mindset book. The link for that's in the description. Which of these 5 keys resonates most with you right now? What do you think about? What do you need to improve on? What do you think would make the biggest difference, right? Drop a comment in and let us know where you're going to start creating your amazing mindset. Which of those 5 keys? If this message helped you see your potential differently, subscribe and share it with somebody who you know and you care about that needs to hear this. And remember, always remember, the goal isn't perfection. Pick one key, start today, and let's build something amazing, an amazing mindset together. If you enjoy this content, make sure that you download Sourena's ebook, 5 Keys to an Amazing Mindset, by clicking on the link in the description. And also, please like, comment, and share.